High school can be hard, from people with their own self-esteem issues trying to bring you down to make themselves feel better, to the colleagues who like to pretend like they're so exclusive in order to make themselves feel valuable, to walking into the lunchroom and not knowing where to sit. It can be hard having no friends in high school. And in this video, I want to tell you guys how to deal with being alone in high school and maybe even how to make the most out of it. Hi best friends, and welcome back to my sleepover. In today's video, I'm gonna be telling you guys my story and some tips on how you can deal with being alone in high school and hopefully make you feel better about it. This is my social media if you guys are interested, and without further ado, let's get into this video. My high school experience has been mixed, to say the least. My freshman year, I had no friends. My sophomore year, I had so many freaking friends, and it was one of the kind of like the best years, honestly, in my life. But then some like falling out happened, and then I had no friends again, and then I met my true group of friends who I'm still friends with to this day. So the first tip that I can give you guys, if you guys don't have friends in high school and the whole experience is kind of like that and you really hate being there, then use the free time that you have from not hanging out with your friends at lunch or activities or something like that to free up more of your time for when you get home. AKA, you can go to the library if you don't really have anyone to sit with at lunch and knock out your homework before getting home. This is what I always used to do. I would just like go to the library and either like work on drafting the book that I'm writing or work on knocking out my homework. And funny enough, that's how I ended up meeting one of the people who kind of like brought me into my friend group that I ended up having. But it doesn't really have to be homework. It's kind of like just using that time for something more productive than like sitting alone and feeling miserable for being alone. If you like flip that time and use it for something that is productive, it kind of like makes it more as not so much a curse to be alone, but as an advantage of like, oh look, I have so much more time to work on something. So the other things you can work on is, if you're passionate about writing, write a book. That's what I did. I did my first draft, which I'm now editing, and hopefully I can publish at some point. If you want to, you can make a YouTube channel and edit your own videos while you have all that free time at school. If you're passionate about music, work on like producing the track. You know how like you put together things in GarageBand on your Mac and like you work on like sounds, or you can watch like videos about like how to do this chord better and like how to improve your guitar playing skills or whatever instrument that you guys are playing. If you like art, you can sketch. You can, if you want to, enter a contest on whatever you're like passionate about. I used to look up so many like writing contests, and I even like entered a bunch. I would write articles online for like my We Hearted page, and I won like some contests on the website with the articles that I wrote during my lunch hours, so it wasn't that bad. Or if you're like a person who really wants to get into a great university, you can use that time to prepare for your university applications. You can draft your application essay. It is never freaking too early to start preparing for SAT, because I'm gonna tell you, SAT is gonna mess up your life if you don't prepare for it. I made that mistake. I literally didn't know what SAT even was. Get yourself some SAT prep books or download some SAT practice PDFs or SAT prep book PDFs online and get going on preparing yourself in order to give yourself a better future if you don't like your current state of being. And honestly, I feel like this can like jump you ahead so much in life, because like the time that people are using just for like socializing and I don't know, like becoming prom king or prom queen, that literally is not really gonna matter for anything as soon as high school is over. You can use that time for getting ahead in life. That's why you literally see like in movies all the like nerdy and like loner people become like these big either like celebrities or company owners. Yes, I do have a Pikachu in my Louis bag, and I think that it looks super cute, so I don't know, You can judge me if you want to, but we're gonna put him there. My second tip to you guys is to put things into perspective, and basically like the way you can make yourself feel better is by asking yourself, will this matter in 5 years down the road? And most of the time, if you're like in high school, it's just 4 years, and once you're out of high school, let me tell you that like no one really cares about what anyone is doing unless you like constantly have like each other's Instagrams and you're like stalking people on Instagram, but no one really does that. And you can also like feel free to unfollow all the annoying people, or if you don't have friends, then you're basically not even most likely like being followed by a lot of people or following a lot of people, so you won't even have to like worry about, oh my god, like but how does my life look on Instagram to other people? You're gonna be out of there, and literally who was the prom queen and the prom king will not matter. It kind of means that like there's a way out of this, and this is not a permanent state, which helped me a lot. Another thing that also like puts things into perspective that you can kind of tell yourself is, one of like the old friends told me this, when you like get onto a bus and you sit there, you don't really spend so much time judging the other people that sit there, and even if you do, once you get off that bus, you kind of like forget about the people that were sitting in that bus. The bus is there to get you to the destination that you want to go to, and basically like school is in the same way. It's to give you education so that you have tools in order to like go at your like adult life or get into a university. It's a means to an end. So kind of like if you flip it and think about it like that, I find that it makes it like a little less upsetting than it is. The next tip that I can give you guys, which honestly like helped me a lot, was basically just having online friends, because no matter what, you kind of do need to feel like you're heard, and my way of like making myself feel like I belong and I'm heard was by talking to my online friends and by writing articles online, because I felt like I had a voice, because people were reading and people were like constantly complimenting me on my articles and saying like how this article like saved their life or made their day and this and that, and it made me feel amazing. And I also made so many friends on the We Hearted platform. But remember, always be careful with talking to strangers online. Don't give out your personal information. Don't go for accounts that claim to be like a famous celebrity but they're not verified. Keep yourself safe. And the fact that you're alone right now doesn't really say anything about you. Literally, it doesn't say that you're unworthy. It doesn't say that you are not good enough to be friends with. Literally, like, all that means is that the right people are not there right now. Which for me, honestly, I was so glad that I fell out with my old friends. It was the worst freaking experience at first. I basically like had no idea why they didn't want to talk to me anymore. Like, I would come to the lunch table and everyone would like shut up all of a sudden, and I was just like, okay, but why? They would always like arrange to hang out and no one would invite me anymore, and I would just see that on social media like, oh, that's so amazing, my whole friend group is hanging out without me, thank you guys. At some point I stopped like bothering and like trying to like ask them like, oh my god, like why are you guys like not talking to me anymore, or like why are you guys always like hanging out without me. Once I was like sitting in the library and I met that guy who would like sit next to me, and we started talking, and then he brought me like to his friends, and I realized that like me losing my old friends at that point was kind of like redirection more than like me not being good enough to be friends with those people. If they can't accept you for who you are, then they're not worth you. And honestly, if you still don't believe and you're still like, no, but like I'm a loser and that's why no one wants to be friends with me, listen to this. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a list of famous people who literally had no friends in high school, and a lot of these people are like such amazing individuals, and you're gonna be like, wait, what the heck, like how is that possible? Number one, Taylor Swift did not have friends in high school. No one would ever like invite her to anything, which is so freaking surprising. And look at her now, she's like such a big pop star and she's such a huge name in the industry. And she said, quote, I remember when I was in high school, the whole reason I started writing songs was because I was alone a lot of the time. And this is the very first tip that I give you guys in this video. Imagine if Taylor Swift had a ton of friends in high school and she never started writing songs because she never got that experience of like being alone and kind of having all this free time to like start her songwriting or even like inspiration. She would have never become Taylor Swift. She goes on to say, I'd sit there in my school and be hearing people like, oh my god, this party we're going to is gonna be so awesome on Friday. Everyone's invited except for Taylor. And And if you don't like Taylor Swift, because I know a lot of people don't like her, I'm gonna convince you with the next few. The next one is honestly one of my favorite people in the world. It's Chrissy Constanza or Constanza, I don't know how to say her last name, but Chrissy is the lead vocalist of the band Against the Current, and she's freaking amazing. And I remember watching her old like YouTube videos, and in one of her videos, I think it was a makeup tutorial, she said that like she would not really have that many friends growing up because she was like too girly for the guys and too boyish for the boys. Third person that I have on my list, Gerard Way. Gerard Way was actually even like bullied during his school years. He ended up becoming the lead in the band My Chemical Romance, and My Chemical Romance was so big. I would listen to them all the time during my freshman year, and it felt like so comforting, and I was like obsessed with the band. I still am. The fourth person is Kristen Stewart. She says, I'm glad I could do those films, and I was glad to leave school. I couldn't relate to kids my own age. They are mean and don't give you any chance. So if people could not freaking be nice to this icon, I have no idea. Like, I see her, I'm just like, dude, she's amazing. The next one is literally like so weird for me and so heartbreaking for me. The fifth person on my list is Adeline Morin. Adeline Morin is a YouTuber. If you guys don't know, she's freaking amazing, and she's my favorite person in the whole entire universe. In a lot of her videos, she talks about how she would never have friends in high school.
There's one point where I took my food and I brought it to the washroom and I just felt so rejected.
I'm like so surprised how someone with such an amazing personality, so nice, so beautiful, so bubbly, cannot have had friends. And that just goes to show that it's not about the person, it's literally about the people surrounding the person. The sixth one is Megan Fox, and Megan Fox said, I was 15 and everybody knew that my aspiration in life was to become an actress. So she was basically like made fun of because she wanted to be an actress, and look at her now, and also she's dating Machine Gun Kelly. But anyway, she says, one girl came to school on Halloween in a black leather cat suit and everyone thought she was a Catwoman. She answered, no, I am Megan Fox. She was making fun of me. I didn't say anything to her. I was really shy. And the seventh person on my list is Jessie Page. Jessie is a YouTuber and she's also so amazing. And Jessie also had like no friends at school because she was really shy and she had social anxiety. But also like she kind of started also doing YouTube kind of because of that. So look at how it turned out. This all like pretty much goes to show that like if you take that and flip that and put that time into something that is going to literally like build your future, you kind of have an advantage to become way more successful. Who knows, you might be the next Taylor Swift or Megan Fox or Adeline Morin. I don't know, it's kind of insane to think about like all these people and that some of their careers literally happened because they had no friends in high school. And I'm also going to be coming out with a video on how to deal with Mean Girls in high school, so if you want to see that, then subscribe to this channel. And I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.